My husband left behind me in the car as I was giving birth, choosing a trip with his parents over me. Are you really going to the hospital alone? Is that wise? I'll send you to trouble, no doubt about it. I'm Emma, and I'm on the brink of bringing new life into the world, 9 months pregnant. As I stand on the brink of this life-altering moment, anxiety grips me, yet a profound sense of blessing washes over me as I prepare to welcome a new life into our family. My husband, Mark, a white-collar worker, lives for the weekends. Yet, he provides little to no assistance at home or with errands. He always retreats to his parents' home on weekends. Mark shares an intense connection with his in-laws, and their close proximity pulls him into their home nearly every weekend, driven by an unspoken need. Since the moment I found out I was pregnant, I've treaded carefully around heavy objects. When purchasing heavy items like rice, unexpected friends may come to the rescue. Each day begins with the jarring sound of the alarm, a frantic rush to prepare breakfast for Mark, and a bittersweet farewell as he heads off to work. Then I plunge into the confusion of cleaning and laundry before racing out for urgent shopping. Upon my return home, the confusion of dinner preparation begins. Only when these tasks are complete can I dare to dream of relaxation. Since stepping away from maternity leave, I've plunged into a shocking new world: blogging. Each day I pen my thoughts, capturing moments with photos of meals, the azure sky, and flowers bursting into bloom. Friends and acquaintances flood my comments, turning these journaling moments into unexpected bursts of joy each day. One evening, as I was preparing dinner, my husband walked through the door just like any other day. But this time everything changed. He tossed his bag and jacket onto the sofa, and I swiftly gathered them, hanging them on a coat hanger. Welcome back. Can you believe it? I crafted hamburgers for dinner. I'm about to take a bath, I declared. With a sharp retort, he stormed off to the bathroom. 3 years since our vows, and his heart remains cold, devoid of kindness or consideration. Sometimes I question if this is what a marriage is meant to be, yet I've accepted it. As Mark stepped back in, clad in his pajamas, I thrust a drink into his hands. Where's the beer? He asked, eyes darting to the bar. I hinted, but alas, I completely forgot to buy it today. Tomorrow I will seize it. Unbelievable. Rushed to the convenience store immediately. His demeanor shifted in an instant, and upset dripped from his words. I was annoyed. Why would he demand this of his pregnant wife? If you desire it so fiercely, why not seize it for yourself? This enormous belly makes every step a struggle. In that instant, upset consumed him, and his voice erupted like thunder. It was you who let it slip away. You must rectify that blunder now. Being pregnant doesn't grant you immunity from the rules. My mother always warned that stagnation could spell disaster for our health. Realizing his upset was a tempest, I hesitantly chose to venture to the convenience store. Upon my arrival, I collided with Olivia, a neighbor. Oh, Olivia, what a surprise to see you here this evening. Evening, Emma. Did you forget to buy something as well? Just as I arrived, the sauce ran dry. Olivia's cheerful voice pierced through the darkness, a fleeting spark of hope. My husband craved beer, demanding I fetch it for him. Why didn't he take the plunge himself? I said it, but he just wouldn't listen. Emma, it seems you're in the depths of despair. As we walked side by side, the moment shattered when Olivia and I reached the crossroad, and our paths diverged. Upon my return, there he was, Mark, sprawled on the sofa, glued to the screen, remnants of dinner still littering the table. What took you so long? Why were you wasting time? Hand over the beer now. Mark's bitter words cut deep, leaving my heart in turmoil. Silently, I passed him the beer, my hands moving to clean up the remnants of the meal, tension thick in the air. How could he utter such words to me, knowing I'm carrying his child? The urge to retaliate surged within me, but I stifled it, choosing silence over confusion. Afterward, I had my dinner, took a bath to wash away the day, and then stepped into the bedroom where everything changed. The following morning, Mark pretended as if the night had been a mere illusion. He's the kind who wipes the slate clean with the dawn, leaving nothing but shadows of yesterday. Yet, his words from the night before haunted me, and I chose to turn a blind eye to him. What's with that expression at this hour? Don't unleash your upset on me. I'm off to work now, so show some respect. Do you truly grasp the weight of appreciation? His words ignited a fierce need to respond. It certainly does, doesn't it? In a whirlwind of shock, all I could manage was a deep sigh as I watched him leave. Watch your step, okay? I refuse to eat dinner tonight. Farewell. In a sudden rush, Mark vanished, leaving no trace or reason behind. Once I bid him farewell, I plunged into the mundane tasks of the house and ventured out to shop, just like any other day. When Mark declared he wouldn't be joining for dinner, I was left with no choice but to whip up something simple for just me. Just as I prepared to eat my solitary meal that evening, the shocking sound of Mark's return echoed through the air, and I dashed to the entrance. "I've returned. Appreciate your effort, but you mentioned skipping dinner today, didn't you? My gathering? It was abruptly cancelled. I'm starving. Do you have food? Tell me you do." Today, I found myself alone, with only a meal for one. Mark's face twisted and upset at the revelation. "Did you truly believe I would never return? This is beyond comprehension." With that, he approached the dining table, and the sight of the dinner I had prepared darkened his mood even further. "Is this really what you call a meal? I can't help but wonder if you're truly fulfilling your responsibilities as a housewife. Don't squander the hard-earned money I toil for." I hastily threw together a meal for myself. "Don't unleash your upset like this. Perhaps you ought to take cooking lessons from my mother. Honestly, your cooking has always been a disappointment." Once more, he draws the unsettling parallel between me and his mother. How can he be so blind to the pain these comparisons inflict? This is inedible. Go. Purchase something now. With those words, my heart plummeted into despair. What does he truly think of me? The night has fallen and I've just emerged from the bath. Why can't you just get it yourself? Never mind. You completely forgot to buy the beer yesterday. Today, dinner was left unmade. It's utterly infuriating. I'm returning to my parents' house. Mark erupted, leaving the house in a whirlwind of confusion. A chilling wave of relief washed over me. The following morning, as anticipated, an enraged call from Mark's mother shattered the silence. How could you possibly deny Mark a proper meal? This is nothing short of moral torment, perhaps even more harsh. I revealed the events of yesterday, yet she refused to believe me. I offered my apology and abruptly hung up. After the call, my spirit shattered. With Mark absent, I seized the moment for a decadent late brunch. Yet, the looming presence of Mark's return tonight consumed my thoughts. In light of yesterday's shocking turn of events, tonight's dinner will be anything but ordinary. I shopped with an intensity that felt almost surreal, meticulously selecting each ingredient and slipping Mark's favorite beer into the cart as if it were a secret weapon. I was resolute in my quest to create a dinner that would leave Mark in awe. I slashed my blog update time to carve out precious moments for cooking. After countless hours of preparation, the table was set with an elegance that hinted at something extraordinary about to unfold. As I gazed upon it, an overwhelming rush of triumph surged through me, and I couldn't resist the urge to commend my own brilliance. With this, he will surely be left in disbelief. I sat in the dining room, heart racing as the minutes dragged on. Mark was late, too late. Where was he? I reached out to him repeatedly on my smartphone, but silence echoed back, and my anxiety grew with each passing second. 1 hour ticked by, then 2, and a wave of anxiety surged within me. Could it be that he went to his parents' house? With a racing heart, I dialed Mark's parents, only to be met with the chilling news that he hadn't arrived there either. I called Mark again and again, but silence echoed back. As the clock struck midnight, just as I was about to call the police, a staggering Mark burst through the door. He was unmistakably intoxicated. "I'm home," hiccup. I dashed to the entrance, heart racing, only to find Mark sprawled on the hallway floor. "What just occurred? Are you really okay?" His voice spoke loudly back, filled with rage, too loud. "Just go away." He lurched into the dining room. As I reached out to help him, he violently wrenched my hand away. "Stay away from me. Stay away from me with that hideous visage. Can you believe you're my wife?" In a haze of intoxication, he unleashed those words and collapsed, motionless on the ground. Those words were utterly devastating. Why? Why is he so blind to the pain of others? His words pierced my heart, leaving me to wonder if I've been cast out from the family. Tears surged, threatening to spill over. I poured my soul into that meal. Everything crumbled to dust. As I sat down to dinner, the weight of solitude crashed over me like a tidal wave. The next morning, Mark awoke, oblivious to the confusion that had unfolded. "My head is pounding. I think I overdid it with the drinks. Why did you abandon me in the hallway? You made the choice to lie there, Mark. It wasn't me. Are you not my wife? Just promise you'll look after me when I'm wasted." Mark's words struck me like a bolt of lightning, leaving me questioning why he always points the finger at me first. "You could have at least warned me if you weren't eating at home. I've made a beautiful meal and I've tried reaching you again and again. Why were you silent?" Then Mark responded with chilling indifference. My gathering, once planned for the day before, shockingly unfolded yesterday instead. Must I disclose it all? Imagine the confusion of a gathering and then the struggle to pick up the phone. It's nearly impossible. Consider the gravity of my situation. Each word from Mark's lips sent a chill through my heart. shattering my hopes for him. In that moment, I will be free from pain and disillusionment. The thought consumed me. Tomorrow, I return to my parents' home for a break. Being with you lately has become a torment, a dull ache in my days. Mark's disdainful gaze pushed me closer to the edge of divorce. Our baby is coming soon, and my heart pounds with dread and excitement. Despite the harrowing tales of labor I've heard, the thrill of welcoming new life eclipses all my fears. The neighbors often whisper, "Just a little while longer," their words igniting a flicker of hope in the shadows of my despair. "Hey, are you ready for a family trip now that Mark is back?" His suggestion was utterly unexpected. Is that true? But this is about a family trip. My parents want to join. I was utterly stunned. Why would parents dare to suggest such a thing? Every time an issue arises with Mark, the air thickens with tension between me and his parents. They always point fingers at me, just like that last shocking phone call. Yet, the unexpected notion of a trip plunged me into uncertainty. The moment of birth approaches, and the thought of a long journey sends chills down my spine. Mark snapped. How many times must I repeat myself? Pregnancy doesn't equate to illness. My parents are unexpectedly inviting us. But what if everything changes? Everything will unravel. All is predetermined. Next week, we'll embark on a thrilling 2-night, 3-day adventure. What on earth? Next week, everything changes. That's all it takes. Obey without question. Brace yourself for the journey ahead. Discussion is over. Mark boldly shared his thoughts and stormed out, leaving a stunned silence in his wake. I'm in deep trouble now, I realized. The following day, I turned to a trusted friend, revealing the unexpected truth of my predicament. Her voice trembled as she exclaimed, "That's far too much." Just as I was preparing to turn down the offer, the day of the trip crashed upon me. Today, I feel utterly unwell. Fear grips me for the baby. I must retreat to the safety of home. I attempted to wield that as my shield, yet Mark remained unconvinced. Just stay in the car. You'll be okay, won't you? Hurry, grab the bags. We're racing to my parents' house, let's go now. As we approached the car, a wave of dread washed over me. I couldn't help but ask, is this truly all right? As I settled into the passenger seat, a sudden warmth enveloped my feet, sending a jolt through me. As I gazed downward, a chilling sight unfolded, water encircling them ominously. Oh no, my water just broke. I rushed to tell Mark. Mark, my water just broke. I need to get to the hospital now. Stunned by the revelation, Mark gasped, "Are you serious?" Absolutely, I mean it. We must rush to the hospital immediately. The baby could be on the way. In a moment of confusion, Mark flung open the passenger door while desperately attempting to mop up the water in the car. Mark, what on earth are you doing? We must rush to the hospital now. Leave now. You're about to ruin everything in the car. I was utterly stunned. What are you implying? Leave. Now. The car is a disaster, it must be cleaned now. In a sudden, brutal motion, Mark yanked me from the car. In this shocking moment, Mark exclaimed, "I can't believe this. We were meant to embark on a family trip. Go to the hospital alone." My voice caught in my throat as I cried out for Mark, disbelief washing over me. "How can you abandon me like this?" He sped off, abandoning me in the dust. In a moment of sheer panic, I frantically called for an ambulance. As someone drew near, the question hung in the air, "Emma, are you okay?" It was Olivia, her face etched with worry. In an instant, Olivia grasped my dire situation and summoned a special taxi, her soothing presence a lifeline in the confusion. Tears cascaded down my face, overwhelmed by her shocking kindness. In a twist of fate, I made it to the hospital, all thanks to Olivia's timely intervention. As we walked, she gripped my hand tightly, her presence a beacon of hope, unwavering until they led me away to my room. In the midst of the transfer, a vow formed in the depths of my silence. He will regret this. As the agony intensified, Olivia clung to my hand with unwavering strength. In a chilling turn of events, she reached out to my parents, who rushed to the hospital, their faces etched with worry. Olivia leaned in, her voice barely a breath. "We need to talk about something urgent." They exited the room, leaving an unsettling silence in their wake. With each surge of agony, my smartphone buzzed ominously from the shadows. Who could it possibly be? I inquired, and my parents uttered Mark's name, sending shockwaves through me. Despite their evident displeasure, I pressed on and took the call. Mark's frantic voice pierced through the line, begging for help. Yet, I was far from ready to engage with him and abruptly severed the connection. Even with my parents disabling my phone, Mark's messages kept flooding in. As the pain surged, I was thrust into the delivery room at last. After a harrowing wait, the piercing cries of my baby shattered the silence. Drained, I faced my parents and Olivia, their smiles a stark contrast to the turmoil within me. With a heavy heart, I shut my eyes, surrendering to the darkness. I awoke, disoriented, in a stark hospital bed, the sterile air heavy with uncertainty. As I rubbed my eyes, I was jolted by the sight of my parents beside me, their faces etched with worry. "Are you really okay?" my mother asked, her voice trembling under the crushing weight of exhaustion. I was utterly drained, unable to rise. My father, eyes glistening with tears, was comforted by my mother, who whispered that the postpartum period is a grueling ordeal. As I beheld this unexpected moment, a smile broke through, defying all odds. "What happened to the baby?" I demanded answers. My parents told me the baby was in for tests but would return shortly. Yet, Olivia was conspicuously absent. In a chilling moment, my mother answered the question I hadn't dared to voice. "Olivia left not long ago." A chilling thought gripped me. What if Olivia hadn't been there? A wave of gratitude crashed over me. After my discharge, I vowed to visit Olivia and thank her. Little did I know that promise would change everything. As I powered on my smartphone to share the news of the birth, a flood of missed calls greeted me, most shockingly from Mark. The overwhelming count left me breathless, yet his calls brought no glimmer of hope or anticipation. I shut the notifications down, no second thoughts. A friend stepped into the hospital room, their eyes wide with disbelief, to congratulate me on the birth. As she celebrated and shared her heartfelt wishes, I revealed the shocking events with Mark. Upon hearing the tale, her shock and upset erupted, and she half-joked about wanting to deliver some punishment. Yet, she insisted my health and rest were crucial, spoke with me briefly, and then vanished. My parents, already informed by Olivia about the shocking events, demanded, "What's your next move?" I revealed my turmoil over my relationship with Mark and dropped the bomb's trouble to my parents. "I'm contemplating divorce." They honored my choice and stood by me. Upon my discharge, I intended to return to my parents' house, where a room awaited me, meticulously prepared for my arrival. In a twist of fate, Mark arrived at the hospital, yet my clear refusal to see him barred his entry. The tension hung heavy in the air. The following day, Olivia entered my hospital room, a fruit basket in her hands, a seemingly innocent gesture that masked the storm brewing beneath the surface. "Olivia, you actually came." I gasped in astonishment. "You're on the mend, but tread carefully, don't push your limits too far. Postpartum fatigue can hit like a freight train," she warned. With a heavy sigh, I accepted the fruit basket from Olivia, her words wrapping around me like a lifeline. "Olivia, thank you so much for helping me. Without you, everything could have crumbled into confusion." I expressed my deep gratitude as I bowed deeply. Olivia's laughter echoed, a stark contrast to the gravity of her words. "What matters most is that you and the baby are alive." I craved just a tiny hand. Yet, I remain eternally thankful. When the dust finally clears, I will come to express my gratitude in a way you won't forget. Olivia's laughter echoed, a chilling contrast to the tension in the air. I confronted my husband about the shocking events that unfolded. His rage was palpable. Her words hinted at a dark truth about Mark's fate. "Olivia, I never meant to pull you into this confusion." I admitted. "Do not fret. Never forget the debt you carry for your position here. This incident is utterly hard to accept." In that instant, Olivia's voice cut through the air with an unexpected severity. Olivia was, shockingly, the wife of the CEO at my husband's company. Little did I know when we first settled in this neighborhood, an unexpected truth awaited me. Yet, amidst the mundane aisles of the local supermarket and the fleeting moments in convenience stores, an unexpected bond began to form between us. We started sharing tea, and in those moments I uncovered the unexpected truth about her husband's job. Meanwhile, my husband remained blissfully ignorant of this unexpected truth. He didn't even join me for our first neighborhood greetings, shunning any interaction with our neighbors. Olivia had whispered, her voice trembling, "I don't want to cause any trouble. Please don't tell your husband." I had honored her plea, but the weight of her words hung heavy in the air. Pregnant and trapped in my husband's madness, Olivia repeatedly urged me, should I confront him about this? Yet, I always refused, fearing to burden her. But with this shocking incident, perhaps even Olivia has finally reached her breaking point. That's why my husband couldn't stop calling Olivia. "Your generosity leaves me speechless." Olivia's fierce declaration struck me like lightning, revealing the unexpected truth of my fortune in having someone willing to fight for me. Tears streamed down my face. In response to my shock, Olivia's smile pierced through the tension, warm yet unsettling. "Emma, you mean everything to me. I cannot remain a mere spectator while my friend suffers like this. Our conversation was a facade, hiding the storm beneath the surface. Yet, my husband's messages continued to flood in, relentless and unyielding. Online, I consciously ignored them all. The thought of divorce pierced through my mind, leaving only one desire: to focus on building a life for my baby. Just as I was about to step out of the hospital, a dear friend burst into my room, thrusting her smartphone into my hands and insisting, "You need to see this." Displayed on her phone was a post that had become a major topic on a certain social media platform. When I inquired, she revealed that she had exposed my husband's recent actions on social media. My friend wielded immense power on social media, boasting a staggering follower count. Suddenly, a reply to one of her posts appeared, shattering the silence. The follower who replied had, by chance, captured a video of the scene where I was yelled at by my husband after being let out of the car. In a shocking twist, the follower blurred my face in the video to shield my identity, and, with my friend's consent, unleashed it into the online world. The video erupted, exposing my husband's personal details and his company's secrets to the world. My husband is facing an onslaught of harsh criticism online. What on earth? Text: I was blindsided by how far it had gone, my friend said with a chilling smile. They asked for it, didn't they? My husband's choices unleashed a storm of consequences that shattered everything. When one of my husband's friends confronted him about the incident, he shockingly excused himself, claiming, "I had a prior travel commitment with my parents that day, so I had no choice." This statement unleashed a storm of online criticism, targeting not just my husband, but his parents as well. The story spread even in the vicinity of my in-laws' home, and there seemed to be various topics related to my husband's parents circulating on social media. Out of nowhere, my phone blared to life. My heart raced as I saw the caller ID. My mother-in-law was calling. "That's for my mother-in-law." My friend, staring intently at my phone screen, urged, "Why not just call her and unleash your thoughts?" In a moment of sheer exasperation, I found myself utterly speechless and chose to turn a blind eye. Suddenly, my missed calls were a haunting list of my husband, father-in-law, and mother-in-law. Since the incident exploded on social media, the hospital staff became acutely aware of my plight and began to extend their unexpected support. Despite my husband's and in-laws' desperate attempts to reach me at the hospital, the staff coldly denied all contact. As my discharge date loomed, a chilling fear gripped me. Would my husband and in-laws be waiting just outside the hospital doors? My parents insisted, "You have nothing to fear." But their words felt hollow. The mere idea of my precious baby in peril sent shockwaves through me. Yet that worry vanished in an instant on the day I was released, as my parents rushed to assist with my things. My husband's voice pierced the air, shouting my name, Emma, drowned out by the thunderous clamor of my in-laws. Out of nowhere, men in black suits closed in, creating an impenetrable wall around me. As I struggled to grasp the unfolding confusion, a man stepped forward, flinging the car door open. "Don't worry," he said, "we're here on Sir's orders to protect you." It seemed my parents were already aware of this. My mom smiled and said, "Didn't I warn you? There's nothing to fear." Trusting her words, I felt a wave of relief wash over me as I slipped into the car. My husband and in-laws stood paralyzed, unable to approach, the bodyguards looming like shadows around us. Words failed to capture the depth of my gratitude for Olivia's unwavering support. The only thing occupying my mind was how to reciprocate Olivia's kindness. In a chilling harmony, my parents declared, "We must uncover a way to express our gratitude to Olivia." My new life started off beautifully, yet the relentless calls from my husband and in-laws shattered the peace. I sent the divorce papers, yet not a whisper of acceptance followed. One fateful day, the phone rang. My in-laws were on the line. My father responded, and they spoke to him as if she was now family, implying that her treatment was irrelevant. She had no right to complain. My father's annoyed response left them stunned, and they abruptly ended the call. In a tense moment with my parents, I realized the gravity of the situation. I made a bold decision. I would seek professional help and consult a lawyer. In a twist of fate, my father knew a lawyer who, upon hearing our plight, shockingly offered his assistance. I informed the lawyer about the video circulating on social media and detailed past events. When the lawyer contacted us, my husband was utterly stunned. Yet, as time passed, he grew increasingly rebellious. "We will confront our marital demons alone." "We don't need a lawyer," he insisted, his voice trembling. Yet, the lawyer's response was chillingly composed, declaring that all future communication must go through me, as per Emma's demand. The choice lies with Emma, my client. Will she bring a lawyer into this? The tension hangs in the air. My husband stood speechless, yet he initially resisted the idea of divorce. At the mention of mediation and a court case, he trembled at the word court, and with a heavy heart, he conceded to the divorce. I feel no connection to the child and refuse to acknowledge any obligation to pay support. Why should I? He insisted, in a fit of denial, that I had done nothing wrong regarding the property distribution. The lawyer's words hung in the air, but my husband remained unmoved, a storm brewing behind his eyes. It appears our fate is sealed, the lawyer ominously declared. We shall meet in court. My in-laws, eavesdropping just a breath away, erupted in panic and instantly capitulated. Upon hearing this from the lawyer, I was left in disbelief that I had ever tied the knot with such a man. Since returning to my parents' home, I had been in touch with Olivia. When I shared the recent events, she mischievously proposed, "Why not snatch your ex-husband's retirement pay? Varnishment is one method, isn't it?" Overcome by Olivia's sharpness, I soon received a call from the lawyer, delivering the shocking news that my husband wanted to apologize face-to-face. Desperate for closure, I reluctantly accepted a phone call, the lawyer looming over me like a shadow. The fateful day of the call had come. That day my parents and the lawyer stood by my side. At last, a voice pierced through the silence. "Finally you answer. Apologize now or face the consequences. Return home, now. Let's reignite our love." The house is in utter confusion. My job hangs by a thread and the stairs are icy. "This is all on you, own it." He relentlessly hurled accusations at me. In a moment of confusion, I seized control and made my choice. When he declared, "Look, you can't even respond correctly. A woman devoid of any redeeming qualities," I finally spoke up, "But brace yourself, this conversation is being recorded. This will serve as proof. Farewell." My husband's voice trembled with disbelief. "He actually recorded it? Isn't that outrageous?" "It was all a joke. I can't believe this is happening. Life is unbearable without you. We must begin anew." Did we really love each other, though? I swear I will push myself like never before from this moment forward. Those words struck me like lightning. I slammed the phone down. With the data secured, I thrust it into the lawyer's hands and demanded, "Can this audio serve as evidence?" In utter disbelief, the lawyer shook his head, declaring he is truly unchangeable. My parents, echoing my feelings, have made the shocking choice to cut him out of our lives entirely. His behavior left them reeling, drowning in astonishment and disappointment, eclipsing any trace of anger. At one moment, I discovered a thrilling pleasure in this confusion, embracing the wicked side of myself that had surfaced. The divorce with my husband ended unexpectedly without a hitch. As the property distribution and child support agreement sailed through, the storm of confusion began to fade. Because of the explosive information Olivia revealed to her husband, the president of my ex-husband's company faced immediate consequences. The president, a staunch advocate for family values, deemed an employee unable to safeguard his own family as utterly untrustworthy for the company. Mark's world crumbled as he lost his job, fell behind on housing loan payments, and was forced to retreat to his parents' home. His reputation shattered by the viral video, he fought to secure stable employment, scraping by with fleeting part-time jobs. Whispers circulated about his parents, and according to chilling accounts from Sir's friends nearby, they appeared trapped in a constant state of dread. The harsh societal judgment they endured was beyond anything I could have imagined, leading me to realize that this ostracization could be more devastating for them than any legal consequences. With everything hanging in the balance and my health on the mend, my parents, my baby, and I stormed into Olivia's home, driven by a desperate need to show our gratitude. Olivia and her husband appeared blissfully happy, showering my baby with affection, leaving us both stunned and embraced by warmth. Then, in a twist of fate, Olivia and my mother forged an unexpected bond. In a twist of fate, Olivia's husband and my father formed an unexpected bond, drawing our families into an intense closeness. In a twist that left everyone reeling, Olivia's son, who was my age, and I found ourselves drawn together in a way no one could have predicted. Years later, the thought of me joining Sir's family was utterly unimaginable. Life is a whirlwind of unexpected twists,